Okay, so I see some comments on YouTube. So are we not hanging out on YouTube? Is there like a pack tonight that we're gonna watch on Periscope, where I don't even get that many viewers anymore? Thank you, Great Gold. Thank you. Scope okay? Scope is not okay. No, YouTube is better. So I'm past 3,000 hours. So I'm so close to getting to 4,000 hours. So I could be just days away. So yes, please pump those YouTube hours. I need the watch hours on YouTube. I'm very close to 4,000. So that would be cool. So if you don't mind, then watch on YouTube, since nobody really watches me on Periscope anymore. So not worried about it, but it's more important to watch on YouTube. Hello, there's 9 of you on YouTube. Should we go? Yes, Braveheart Vet, if you can, that would be preferred. Yes, because will this EU nonsense affect us because the servers are there? Yes, Mr. Filter. Yes, this will affect us all. Yes, and I'm not sure exactly how this is going to be implemented, but this will affect us all. And this is a very visitors late. This will affect us in a very big way, and I'm curious as far as the effects of it, and we will talk about some of that tonight and see what this all means. And what we're talking about tonight, for those of you who are, who only come here to check the news because you don't have the news in some other source like Zucking, then I'll tell you the news. The news is that the European or the EU Parliament decided to pass Article 13 and Article 11 of some copyright kind of law. And it basically will is a law that is meant to change the internet. So it's very weird, and we'll discuss kind of what their intent is and what might. Okay, thank you, Vet. Thank you for watching on YouTube. So we'll talk about that and see what the effect of this is on us, and even what the point is. So as you know, it should be rather apparent, especially for those of the people in Periscope who work in mainstream media. Thank you, Mr. Filter. There's some people in mainstream media like Mike Tends to Travel and Redamore, and who else is in media? Some of the people who make a living off mainstream media are the ones that are feeling the crunch. And as you know, over the years, since the last 10 years, since the internet blew up, the people in mainstream media have suffered the most, and now they can't even make a living. A lot of journalists have lost jobs, and so I guess you can never go in one way. There's always somebody fighting back. So there's the pushback now that's happening, and the pushback is happening in many ways. And one of the kindlier and gentler ways, kindlier and gentler ways of supporting journalists and media, as it was before the internet, is through what Apple did this last week. Apple implemented a subscription magazine, in case you didn't hear about that. So you can now subscribe for $9.99 a month, and you can read all of the magazines into an aggregated single interface look developed by Apple. So what Apple's doing is they're taking existing magazines, then they're translating into their own format, meaning they're curating it. They actually take the magazine and format it the way they want to work for Apple products. And similar to an app that used to do it that a long time ago called Flipboard. So Flipboard is one of the aggregators of the old days, and I haven't used Flipboard in a while. But they selectively take magazine articles or websites, then they put that content into their own format, and then that's how they market that. Now Flipboard is a little bit of a problem because unlike Apple is paying the sources, the owners of the magazine. So the magazines are actually making money from Apple. So they're gonna love what Apple's doing for them. The companies that do the aggregation, such as Flipboard and companies like that, and as well as Google and everyone that puts news and search, and Microsoft even does that in Microsoft News, where they aggregate the news in some format on their browser. That's a problem. That's a problem with this new thing called Article 13 and Article 11 from the EU. So the EU is fighting back. And and we need to understand what it is they're trying to do and how it impacts us, because a bunch of politicians that are not in your area, they're in Europe, they just decided that they're gonna change the internet. And fortunately, I'm doing this broadcast without a visitor in the house. We have a visitor. She might be back later, but we have a visitor from Denmark in our house right now. So I don't want anybody from the EU listening to what I'm saying, because I tend to be critical of governments in general. So I'm likely going to be critical of the EU. So the EU decided, just like they did GDPR, or General Data Protection Regulation, if you remember that, they decided that they're going to foist some new laws on the rest of the world. I mean, this is supposed to be just, laws foisted upon the EU, but, how do you do some of this without affecting the entire world? So let me just summarize for those of you who are new to this and don't know what I'm talking about, what Article 13 and Article 11 are, which will definitely change the internet. This is kind of crazy. The effects of this are mind-boggling. I don't even know what will actually happen. It depends on how people react. I don't know what will actually happen. So Article 13 of the EU copyright law, Article 13, what did you say? Does Article Article 13 is called the meme killer. Now, for you oldies in here, you may not know what a meme is. So a meme is when you take, something from something existing, like real actors in a movie, or some photo, or you basically take something on the internet that has existing something popular, like a picture of somebody popular, or a excerpt from a movie, and then you put little sarcastic comments on there. Okay, that is called a meme. And didn't PewDiePie become famous from memes? PewDiePie survived from memes and gaming, doesn't he? JHH Wash. So PewDiePie, it's memes and memes and gaming, right? I wonder what PewDiePie is going to do. He can't post his memes anymore. He actually, shows on his videos how he makes his thumbnails by stealing pictures on the internet, and which I do too now, because I follow PewDiePie because he's doing it, so I'm doing it too. I don't have to, so maybe I'll stop doing that when the time comes. But then again, I'm not in the EU, so what the heck do I care? As long as I don't take it from any. Actually, I don't need to care. I personally am not in the EU, so I don't need to care. But it does impact all of us in some way. So Article 13 says You can't take any existing creation on the internet and modify it in any way and post it on some other website or some other platform. You can't do that. That is referred to as a violation of Article 13. And the way that they implemented Article 13, the way they implemented Article 13 is a little bit different, because back in the old days they would just probably do a DMCA on you, as they do on YouTube. DMCA is the copyright notice saying take down. A DMCA takedown is what they would say. And they would go to each person and say, okay, like they do on YouTube right now. They have some automated thing. They say, okay, DMCA takedown, take that down. That's copyrighted material. That's what they do on YouTube now. Now, what Article 13 does, it's a little bit more heavy-handed, because what Article 13 says is YouTube is responsible. And that if YouTube fails to take it down, for every day that that's up there, they need to pay somebody, the owner of the copyright. So basically what's going to happen is, with YouTube not doing anything, or Google or Microsoft or Apple or whoever else is showing other people's content, or Twitter or Facebook, just by leaving it there, they're basically getting a cost, and the cost will be, flooding money to the EU content creators, and that's this basically puts money back into EU content creators. Now, one of the biggest winners of this would be like Paul McCartney, because Paul McCartney doesn't want any kind of thing on the internet coming from him. The thing for Paul McCartney is not going to matter, because Brexit. UK is going to have Brexit, so this is not even going to apply to Paul McCartney. So it will apply to anyone creating content in the EU. So if there's any kind of EU content creator, if we take any kind of link from them, then they could come back and say, pay us for using that link. Hello, initials okay. I heard the Brexit vote failed today. Well, it's going to keep failing, and then they're going to go with a hard deadline, and then they're going to go crazy. So they're going to have some sort of Brexit some other way, but maybe an unpleasant version of it. So anyway, it's in Article 23 now, 17. I'm not aware of any change in numbers. It's Article 13 and Article 11. So Article 13 plus 11 is 24. Not 17. I don't know where 17 comes from. Never heard of that. So Article 13 and 11, if you go to the YouTube page, they refer to it. YouTube refers to it still today as Article 13. I don't see any reference to 17. But I guess it's a bunch of articles in there. Some of them relate to copyright. So there's obviously not just 13 and 11. There's got to be 1 to, I don't know, however many there are. I didn't read it. I'm only talking about what concerns us. So the Article 13 is a meme killer. So they're saying you cannot put any kind of content, including remixes. You can't do a remix. You can't take somebody's music and do a remix and post it on the internet without paying the original party for the remix. Now that makes sense. You know, that's pretty. Hello, Claire Peters. That's, you know, that makes sense from a musician's point of view. That's not necessarily a terrible thing. Now, but let's talk about the original content for a moment and what this means, because, you know, I don't do memes, so I don't really, you know, in a sense, I personally am not going to be terribly affected by Article 13 per se as an individual, not as a platform owner, but as a individual. For one, I'm in the U.S. Second, I have to be using content from the EU, from somebody in the EU, which is not likely because, for one, I make original content. So since my content is original, then I don't really need to concern myself with that. But some people have become popular on social media by sharing other people's content. Some people are popular on social media by sharing links on Twitter and sharing links on whatever. So if you look at Twitter, may be a problem because we all tend to go and share links on Twitter. I'm not sure how this is going to work. Like if you, let's say somebody has a article written by someone in the EU, and first of all, we got a problem number one. Can meme makers, not the meme makers, but the platform has to do the restriction because the meme makers don't have any. Meme makers don't have any liability. The liability is on the platform. You see the problem here? They put this, the meme maker can keep doing it. They're saying that the meme maker is not going to be liable. It's going to be the platform. So the platform will do something drastic, like say, what? Ban all memes? I'm trying to think of what Google's going to do because they're going to say, wow, this is going to be expensive. We can't deal with this. So they can do a couple things. Google can say, we'll just ban anyone posting anything with links from the EU. They'll just say, okay, EU, we'll give you a different internet. And your internet doesn't allow you to post links unless you have permission in advance. Maybe you put a link and then you have to put I don't know exactly how this is supposed to work. Maybe you put a link and then you have a page that says, this is your receipt for using the link. This is crazy. I don't know who came up with this. It's like, this is not the way the internet works. So I don't even know how it's supposed to work. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, so you let's say we have somebody here on Periscope. We got a problem here. Let's say we have somebody from Periscope like Lars. Lars is I don't know if Denmark counts as being EU. I don't know if Denmark is an actual EU member versus a EU, but let's just say Lars here is from Denmark, and let's just say this is counted. Okay, because I don't really know if they're included in this. And Lars is a Periscope broadcaster. He does broadcast here in Periscope. In fact, this might apply to every European Periscope broadcaster. And then you share a link to a Periscope broadcaster on Twitter. What the zuck happens to you? So in theory, if that link is seen by anyone in the EU, then I don't understand this. Americans see it, so what? Somebody in Japan sees it, somebody in Brazil sees it. I don't know what that means. Somebody in the EU sees it, then it's liability now. No, it's not being debated. It's past the European Parliament. There's another stage. I'll talk about it in a moment. But I'm just wondering what this, how this is going to be implemented, because who is actually, at what point do you clarify the boundaries? Because the internet is not like that. We don't actually know it's from the EU, not in the EU. I mean, we go to a website and you're fairly anonymous. And what this actually means, and this is the thing that really bugs me, this is really the most bothersome aspect of this, guys, is that in order for them to implement this, you can't be anonymous. In order for them to implement this, they have to now say who is from the EU. So now, well, they're not going to know who's from the EU, so they're going to say, well, we want to know who everyone is so we can tell if you're from the EU or not. So then a whole tracking system will have to come up where, they find out if you're in the EU. Now, this is the second problem here, guys. The second problem is the way that this is supposed to work. When you go to a website with a link, a post that goes to some European content, that they have to now say, well, this link is part of the filtered group that cannot be shown in the EUA or needs some sort of payment if it's going to be shown in the EU. Now, what happens then? So what they have to do is create a database of every Zucking link on the Zucking internet. That means surveillance. Somebody will then say, here are all the links on the internet, and here are the people clicking on it. That's how they know if it's violating something from the EU. So they'd have to create an infrastructure for every click on every link happening on anything that happens to be from the EU. I mean, this is really crazy. I mean, the idea is so crazy to me. I don't know. I don't know how this is supposed to work. Now, a similar one, just so you understand the rules here. So the Article 13 is referred to as the meme killer, because if you use content from somebody in the EU, then you're supposed to pay that EU content creator. Otherwise, you're in violation of whatever you're supposed to be in violation of in the EU. Now, what if you're not an EU company? Like I'm a platform owner and I don't have any presence in the EU. I don't have an office there. I don't have any business there. So yeah, get spied in China instead. I mean, the world is falling apart here. So you know how I feel? Yeah, you have nothing to hide. I don't know what that has to do with this, Doc. Okay, what does that have to do with this, Doc? I know you have nothing to hide, but so you want to pay money to the EU for links. So anytime you use a link on the internet. Okay, so the second one is called Article 11. It's referred to as the link tax. So the Article 11 of the copyright law passed in the EU means that if you have a link to anything that's content created in the EU, then you have to pay the owner of the link. So you can't. Let's say that let's say that the content is MSN Europe, just as an example. They can track you all day. That doesn't matter to this. They will tax you anyway. That has nothing to do with tracking. Yeah, they can track you all day. Dr. Vic, did you actually watch my video on nothing to hide? I just want to throw it out there. Not that you care. You don't really care. But you ought to come back and watch the video, nothing to hide, and then come tell me, I don't really care. Okay, at least, be forewarned. There's the video. I'm not going to force you to think whatever way you want to think. Watch the video, and then don't come here and say, I don't really care if I get tracked. It's like, why don't you come and say, I don't really care about this argument of yours in that video. Be at least specific. Well, watch the whole thing, then you come and tell me which one you disagree with. Because if you didn't watch the whole thing, then what the heck are you, I still have nothing to hide. If you haven't even watched it, I don't know what you don't even know what the arguments are, and you're gonna say, oh, I love being tracked by Palantir. It's just awesome. This is just the biggest thing, best thing ever. That is so positive for your life, Doc Vic. Very positive thing for your life. This is, excellent. It's especially for your pastoral community. It's a very helpful thing to say. We love to be tracked. It's helpful for our closeness to God. Being tracked is part of that. So let's be tracked. It will help us. It's a very good thing. You tell me. Come back and tell me that's a good thing for you. Don't say I don't really care. Just say it's a good thing. Say it's a good thing. It's a bad thing. So apparently you believe it's a good thing. So welcome to 1984. Anyway, back to the link tax. So the idea of a link tax is if you put any link, again, this is the limitation of anything that has to do with any content in the EU, then you're supposed to put a link tax. Okay, you can't post links in here, Jerry. That doesn't help. What? Nobody's gonna click on that on Periscope. What is the purpose of a link? You can't put a link on Periscope. Can't put it. What is why are you saying goodnight to entire Meyer? It's entire Meyer. Later, gang. Gotta meet my grandson. Okay, so anyway, so the link tags. And how do you track this? Like I said, in order for this to happen, every click on the Zucking internet would have to be recorded to see who's clicking it and tracked and recorded so you can make payments to whoever it is that supposedly owns the link. Who's going to police this? How do you prove it? That means you're going to have to do surveillance. Well, this will work very nicely for Doc Vic in here. But in order to implement this, you have to now surveil the Zucking internet, every click we make, as if we're not already surveilled. And now they're going to have a government EU-based surveillance for tracking this. So now they're going to go hire some big Palantir-like organizations to say, make a link filter with tracking everybody's clicks on the internet, and every website will have to link to this central repository so that anytime you click on a link, you're going to pass it to the Zucking filter, and so somebody can monitor who you are and what you click, what your IP address is, so that we know you're from the EU. Zuck. That's a zucked up, people. What if it's an indirect? There's no, this is what I'm wondering. Let's say somebody posts, let's talk Twitter for a moment. So you're on Twitter. Does Twitter have a European office? If they do, then they're going to be subject to this. So you click on the link. No, that China is done by firewall. That's a completely different thing. Okay, China does it by firewall, so they actually do spy on you, but through the firewall. This is a little bit different here, because there's like, what is this, like a volunteer surveillance? So every platform says, okay, I have to submit to surveillance in order to exist as a platform. So if you have a semi-successful, there's some rules here that limit it. But if you have a semi-successful website or app, then you're going to be subject to this. And if you're not, you actually could be fined by the EU, and this, it could cost you millions and millions, or in the case of Google, billions, if they just let it go. They have to do something. So let's say Google said, "Zuck you, mother Zuckers. This is too unreasonable for us. So zuck you, mother Zuckers." So what we're going to do in the EU, on YouTube, is we're going to ban uploading content from the EU. We'll say you can't upload content if you're from the EU. That way there's no record of this. So what I think might happen, and this is one possibility, this is one of many possibilities I'm thinking of to get around this. One possibility is that if you're in the EU and you're a content creator, that you'll get yourself a VPN in the US, a US VPN. So come to my VPN if you're from the EU, use a VPN from the US, like Bytes VPN, and then upload your content to YouTube from Bytes VPN, and they're going to say, oh, this content came from America, therefore it's not subject to the rule. Okay, so the content is from America. America can still post whatever we want. So this is why it says that the VPN business will grow because of the Zucking EU, that we will actually get, a lot of activity for VPNs because of this. So that's pretty interesting. But really, this is really crazy though, because in order to implement this, they'd have to be tracking IP addresses for every single one and actively filtering the IP address from every single person in the world and saying, where are you? Kind of like Netflix, but in a more centralized database outside of Netflix. We're talking about government controlled, EU government controlled list. Bugs the hell out of me. bugs the hell out of me just thinking about it. You know, it's like everywhere we go, it's like somebody's always like trying to increase the more you know, what government allows us to do. It's like, you know, you're not allowed to do anything because government restricts you from doing anything. Now, understand the issue here, that, you know, the complainers are mainstream media, as an example. That's one of the biggest complainers to this, and Hollywood and so on, because they're saying, although I don't know, this is the EU, so where would Hollywood fit in here? But these entities, Hollywood and mainstream media, are the ones having their content like shared all over the internet, and they're saying, well, that's our content, you're sharing it all over the internet, so we should get paid for it. I'll tell you a little different story here. And Twistmint, are you here? Twistmint is likes to post links on social media about what he reads on the internet. So a lot of articles will get posted on Brax.me, for example, from Twistmint, because he does a lot of research, and then we'll find something interesting and we'll curate it for us and post it on Brax. So that's what Twistmint does a lot of. The question that I have here is the sites that Twistmint does not post. If Twistmint isn't posting the links, doesn't that mean less traffic to those sites? So basically, let's say you're I mean, BBC is a bad example now because BBC is in the UK. But let's just say, currently, BBC is in the EU still as of today. Okay? As of today, BBC is in the EU. So in theory, if you post some BBC content and shared on Twitter and so on, doesn't BBC then get ad clicks and traffic and business from anyone referring their links? That's how the internet works, right? That's how we make money from the ads on the internet, is from when you click on the link, you know, it gets recorded, and then they give you an ad. And then those sites make money. So if people stop posting the links, doesn't that mean that those websites might die, because nobody's going to be posting any European website link anymore? They'll be afraid. If the site is from Europe, they're going to say, oh, you know what? I don't want to be at risk here. I'm not going to post that. So now by the way, they did it. This is what happened in Spain. I think it could be keep many things from going viral. Exactly. So they actually did this in Spain. They actually said, okay, we're going to implement a rule that's kind of similar to, you know, to Article 11. We're going to say you're going to pay a tax to any link you do in Spain, to the website in Spain. You know what happened in Spain? Those websites died because nobody shared them. You know, when I make a video on YouTube, I share it on Twitter, and then I say, please share, please share. So now sharing may be a bad thing. So like I said, if somebody from the EU, like my friend Lars, he's a broadcaster here in Periscope, if I share his content on Twitter, in theory, that's kind of dangerous to post any content from anyone from Europe, because, you know, well, Lars isn't going to sue you, but you know, I'm not, you know, there will be a little bit of cautiousness, and people, you know, well, I don't want to get sued someday. You're going to come back and sue me, so I don't want to do that. How do these new laws interact with U.S. fair use provisions? That is exactly the biggest aspect of this, Vet, is that the EU law says we do not care about fair use. there is no provision for fair use, which is against U.S. law. There is no fair use. So how do you deal with that? Okay? How do you deal with a fact that there's already a law conflict? In the U.S., fair use is fair use, and you're saying that in the EU, there is fair use will not apply to the internet. I don't know how it would work. Now, how about if you do this? This is another one of these things that I'm. Well, you won't have that, Doug. You won't have fair use. Although you're in the U.S., you could do anything. So let's say that you take a content, but instead of linking, you don't link. You take a picture or capture video and create a new link. Then they won't easily find you, but you would have created the content. So how do they filter this? One of the things that the law says is that Google or Facebook or whoever the content creator, the platform is, has to filter the content in advance before it gets posted. I don't know how they're going to Zucking do that. That means there's no disputing anymore. They just ban your Zucking ass out of there before you even post it without any recourse. It's saying, well, that's fair use. They can't do that because the way that it goes is they block the content before it enters the platform. That's the way the law is written. Education institutes will lose out. Well, what about, political debate? What about political debate, Vet? So let's say you disagree. Let's say it's CNN disagreeing with Fox News. CNN, well, this is America. You can still do it. But let's talk about two theoretical news organizations in Europe. So if two organizations in Europe says, well, European CNN is disputing content from European Fox News, they can't actually show the content from Fox News and say, hey, we disagree. Look at this, what you said over here. We disagree with this. That would, that's fair use here, not there. I don't know, people. I mean, this European thing is truly, truly zucked up. And, maybe it's done by people who just have no idea how the internet works. It's done by Zucking politicians. It's really, really worrisome to me that this is like a manipulation being done by politicians deciding this. And I don't know. Oh, there's Llama. Llama's back. Is that your new account, Llama? It's not Llamas for Trump anymore? Oh, there you go. He actually said, I thought it was Llamas for Trump. Yes. So I, and then here's the conflict that I don't know how this is going to work out, because Americans sharing links from the EU, are they going to go try to sue you even though you're American? How does that work? Same one. Different name of the account though. So and again, if I post a European link to some European news content on Twitter, and then somebody shares my link, are they both liable? This is just, I don't know who made this kind of thing. It's like, this is not the way the internet works, and they're going to change the way the internet works, which, I can understand the difficulty with the internet, because the internet is, is open and anyone can post anything. But I oppose anything that adds surveillance. I remember I had to change because all the snowflakes kept reporting you. Okay. Now you're for free speech. I get unenforceable. They're going to enforce it in some way. The problem is, this is what happened this week. So the European Parliament agreed, the EU Parliament agreed to this. So they call them MPs, which are the members of the Parliament. Member of Parliament, is that what MP means? They agreed to this. They voted for this, like 300 something to 200 and something, and so they voted for this. Now, the way it's supposed to be, it's not a law yet. What happens is that each country now has to take the directive from the EU and pass a law that says we're going to interpret the Article 11 and Article 13 this way. So this is a new problem here. It means that we're going to have potentially different versions of the copyright law by country as far as how it affects the internet. I mean, this is like, this is like a bunch of stupid fools sitting in these governments, like passing these laws. It's kind of crazy. I'll give you an example. It's kind of similarly crazy, just to show you, how out of touch some of these. But Google can crawl any link on the web. No, they can't just take the link. Not anymore. They're not protecting the memes. They're protecting the owner of the content to make sure the owner of the content gets paid. Okay? So it's not for banning the memes. The thing is that you have to pay up to the owner of the content at all times. Memes are made by taking existing content on the internet, modifying it, and then posting it in some new content and putting some comments on it. You can't do that according to this law without paying. You have to get advance permission first. Yes, lots of 56 to new what? Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the mechanics of this. How you would do this without some very extensive tracking of users. So this my really big problem here is that this will result in filtered lists. So this is the way it's supposed to work, guys. Just so you you understand the methodology here. If your website is making more than 10 million a year in euros, if you have over 5 million active users, so these are all only for the big sites, so it's not going to affect the little sites. And if you are not a startup, you've been around longer than 3 years, then you have to pay up. Okay? So this is what is supposedly going to happen now. So if you go to one of these sites that are classified under this law, then this site has to filter all content. So every link through that site has to be filtered through the content to see if it's allowed. It's a allowed link, or it's a link that is protected by the copyright holder. So not everyone's going to care if you share a link. You decide. This is the way it's supposed to work. Let's say that the news organization in France said, okay, we want our content to be monetized, so we're going to put it on the do not post the do not post link. They will not allow the link on the internet. So then they post it on this website. Every website, before you allow the link to show up, you have to then connect to the central database and say, oh, that's a banned link. Don't show it. I think that's the way they're talking about it. So don't show it if you're in the EU. That means give me your IP address, report the IP address to the site. Maybe it's a responsibility of every site owner to report the link to the link filter. That means some new company will be a link filter, and then you have to pay up some subscription to pay the link filter money. The law was made to protect people's feelings. What if a person in the U.S. goes to the link? I believe they are supposed to allow it. Yes, server will report, do not index this link. Well, I don't know what index is the proper word. Pay as you go. What's wrong with that now? Pay as you go. It's not pay as you go. Um, you'd have to pre-register and say, I'm not sure. Maybe you pay the link organization. Let's say the EU forms a new link database. The link database then has kind of a BMI. Okay, so something like a BMI. There will be like a BMI for links. You know how the BMI police, they go to. I've encountered them in the when I play music. They go to the owner of the restaurant and they say, "Zuck, you pay up right now, or we're gonna shut you down. Pay up right now." So so there's like BMI police. They're like music haters. I don't know. It's like musician hater BMI police. They go around every restaurant. This is their job. They go out there and actually say, "Oh, you're playing music here, and I hear music on the radio. We need to police you. Wait a link. You just don't like authority figures, do you? Every system has to have thugs." This is Kelp. Although Kelp was like talking nonsense tonight, we need to whack the mole again tonight because he just likes to be whacked. He just takes a side that doesn't make any sense. So I don't know what the side is here. Actually, I don't even know what the side is. It's more a problem of how do you even Zucking implement this? Because now you're going to say every website has to go to the link filter, make the government some money, the EU government, so that the EU can collect money for EU. There it is. That just told you the story. This allows them to take money from Google and send it back to the EU. There you go. It's always about money. We just figured it out. That is the point. Now I know what the point is. They want to make money by taxing Google for everything that's shown with European content, and they want to go put that money back in the coffers of somebody in the EU. Okay. Now we get it. It's always about money, so at least I just wanted to clarify what's the point, because it's kind of a and obviously the link tax company, meaning the link database, will have to be a European company. That's not at all what article is about. It's not about making money for EU. It's not. Tell me what it's about. One said it's not about making money for the EU. I don't know. It's about countering Russian trolls who influence election through memes. Oh my God. This is in Europe, one of many champs. How does that, don't you need to pass that in the US? Look it up. Okay. So it's not about money. So one of many champs is saying it's not about money. So any program that does HTTP get the restricted link will get logged. No, they, yeah. So if you go, this is the way, think about this. So how do they police this? So the website, actually, this is very interesting. I mean, this can easily be beat. Okay, I'm going to tell you something that you, this is how stupid this is, okay? Google can beat this very easily. Okay, when you go to, I had to think about it because it's, it's one of these where I'm just going with the flow here because I don't actually know how they're going to do this. But remember, the link clicker is not Google. The link clicker is an average person from the EU. Okay? You're Zucking kidding me, llamas. For free speech. Zucking kidding me. Okay. Okay. So think about the scenario, guys. Think about the scenario. Okay, so you are, let's say we're in Europe right now. we're in Europe. The way this is supposed to work is you go to your browser, you're going on Twitter, you're going on all these sites, and then there's a link on there, and we're all European here in this example, okay? And then I click on the link. I'm just a regular person. The website at the other end will then say, oh, you clicked on my link. Okay, now listen to this. Where does the link come from? So how do you know where the link comes from? I'm going to tell you a little secret, guys. The link comes from a referral. There's a referral link included by the browser when you click on something. A referral link. Did you know that you do not get a referral link when you start a new tab? Therefore, Google, Chrome, or somebody like a Brave or some other browser can just say, hey, let's just take off the Zucking referral link. Make it an option. Make it an option in the settings so that if you're in the EU, cancel the referral link. Then the website's not going to know who referred you. Therefore, you can't go sue that company and say, hey, you don't have permission from us to refer the link. Problem is, the average person isn't going to care because they're going to say, well, it's not, I'm the average European citizen. It's Google making money. This is a populist kind of approach. You're saying, we don't want Google to make money, so we don't really care. So we'll put the referral link in there and say, yes, YouTube made the link, or Twitter. Therefore, sue them. Sue Twitter and YouTube. And take that money and bring it to the EU. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Our fresh fodder for people like you to overcome. So if I were Google, I would really say, interesting. I'll have two approaches for Google. Approach number one, ban EU IP addresses. Okay, that's one. Ban EU IP addresses. Because one of the problems is they could just say, well, we will ban content coming from the EU. I don't think that's going to work. The reason is the link will still come from the EU. Even if they use a VPN, the link will still come from the EU. So in order for this to work, the content has to be not in the EU. See the complexity here? You see the complexity? Okay, I'm going to give you another example. Let's say you have content, you took content from somebody in the EU, then you uploaded it to YouTube. And then you say, okay, I upload this with a VPN, so therefore it's no longer an EU link that uploaded it. So it was uploaded with an IP address from the US. So now YouTube has a copy of it, and it didn't filter it because it came from the US. Then somebody from the EU clicks that YouTube video and say, hey, that's copied from over there. What are they going to say? They're going to say, movie time. They're going to say, what are they going to say? They're going to say, oh, that's copied by a U.S. citizen. Are they going to go argue that? I don't even know how they... Now, there's no link there. See the difference between Article 13 and Article 11? Article 11 is a link. Article 13 doesn't have to have a link. Article 13 is about content, like meme content or taking content from someplace and putting it on YouTube or whatever, like taking a video and then moving the video to YouTube. That's completely different. I don't know how they're going to do this. And how many law variations there will be by country. Because basically they're asking every country in the EU to make a separate law for Article 11 and Article 13. This is really crazy. Hello, Heidi. Really crazy. This is totally zocked up. Again, my main problem with this is it will result in more and more surveillance, and that's the part that just disturbs me the most, because somebody will have to track more of what we do. What if there's a copyrighted image that just happens to be on your wall in the background of a video? Not allowed. Mad cow? That wouldn't be allowed. How do they find out the content is the next problem. They have to develop new AI to say, this content, even as part of a photo, including in the background, is from someplace else. I'm not sure how this is going to work, to be honest, because there's just, they're going to say, we'll sue you, YouTube, if you screw up, but YouTube has to automate this. I don't know how this is going to work. It's not immediate because they passed the law, the directive, which is going to have to be voted on by each individual country. So it may take some time. I don't know. May take a couple of years. I don't know. At least, probably at least a year, maybe a couple of years before it actually comes into play. And the people doing Brexit are saying, phew, good thing we're out of that Zucking EU. they're probably like thinking, wow, we dodged one there. If we stayed in the EU, we'd have to go, be zucked by this. Sounds like the movie Brazil Information Control. Well, it's worse than that because, centralized. Remember what this means. There will be a centralized link database. Now think China here a moment. There will be a centralized link database. The purpose of the centralized link database is to say, oops, this is copyrighted content. You can't share it. Now, who's to say that that's the only purpose of this filter? Why can't they say, oops, this person disagrees with the policies of the EU government? Surfer Bay, my friend. Oh my gosh, we don't see anymore. So this doesn't, match what we believe. Therefore, we'll just censor it. Obama gave control of the internet away. Didn't someone we know give control of the internet away? Yeah, Obama. He said, yeah, first of all, the internet was the U.S. And they said, oh, no. We don't want that. You were promoting Braxby on my last video. Thank you, Surfer Babe. But I need you to show your face on Brax and say hello. Say hello on Brax, like you come for like 10 seconds and leave. So say hello on Brax. This is, the problem is, this is the problem that I'm worried about, guys. Thank you, Surfer Babe, my good friend. This is what problem I worry about. This is just the beginning of all this. Now, if China can go filter the content on the internet and give you social media scores, and the EU can pass regulations that impact the entire world with GDPR and with this, and what's to stop every other country from coming up with a different rule and so on? So maybe every individual website will just say, okay, maybe the globalist view of the internet may have to change. Maybe the internet will have to be, done by country. Maybe we'll have to say, that's not in the U.S., so we don't really care about that anymore. So there will be an internet firewall by country, because the Googles of the world will say, well, zuck that. We don't want to deal with, some strange internet law in Namibia, so we'll say we'll ban Namibia. We'll ban Nigeria. We'll ban Canada. We'll ban Base Guy Show. So, individual banning by the government. So, hello, Death of the Beard. How you doing, my good friend, Base Guy? I have music. Will you listen to my music, Base Guy? Because I am going to post music. I was doing it tonight. It didn't get done, so it'll get done by tomorrow. So I had a concert. I did a concert yesterday, guys, and some of you, if I post music on my, hello, Death of the Beard, if I post music on my YouTube site, I lose followers. I don't know why that is. Guys, why is it that when I post music on my YouTube page, I lose followers? They say, Zuck this is not anything to do with privacy. Zuck you for posting music. So I will be posting music. Rob has an amazing music and awesome tech skill. No, I have a particular set of skills, Surfer Babe. So I did do a concert yesterday. I thought we did it rather well, and I'm proud of it. I'll post it on my YouTube page tonight, and or probably won't get done tonight. Probably early in the morning. But we're sounding better. I'm sounding better, so I'm glad. I'm glad. So anyway, this is a I'm watching on Periscope today because my other device isn't running. It's turning on. Zuck. So, by the way, talking about VPNs, I'm going to tell you about. I'm going to make a video about this. This is a Raspberry Pi. I'm going to make a video of this. I'm making it now, so probably by tomorrow I'll post it. So what I did is turn this Raspberry Pi into a VPN router. Run, skill, stack rocks. What? Your favorite Raspberry Pi? Anyway, I turned this into a VPN router or Tor router, depending what you switch it on to do. And let me tell you what the purpose of this is. This is a pretty cool device that I made, and some of you already bought it. Actually, some people rushed to buy it, and this is a problem. It's switching topic for a moment here. Switching topic. We're back to the privacy question. So switching topic, kelp. Switching topic, kelp. This is my sister's story. So my sister comes and visits me. In fact, we have a visitor right now in my house, and our visitor is from Denmark. And so our visitors from Denmark coming to my house. And what happens when a guest comes into your house, either just to visit you momentarily, or to just or to stay with you, or however long you want to be there. The first question they ask is, what's your Wi-Fi password? What's your Wi-Fi name and password? Don't they ask that? Raise your hands. Type a 1 if you have people sharing your Wi-Fi. Type a 1. There's hardly anybody here on Periscope, so you're going to have to type a 1 everywhere here. All the time, uninvited guests need Wi-Fi. Yes, type a 1 if they need Wi-Fi in your house. Nobody on YouTube has that? Doesn't matter if the guest network or non-guest network. It doesn't make any difference. Just it's the same. Mad Cow says 1. Okay, lost. So it's very, very common, right? No, the people at my house. No people at your house. No people visit you, Heidi. Heidi doesn't get any visitors. Okay, so like I said, I have a visitor right now from Denmark staying here for a week, and my sister stayed with me for a couple of weeks, and my sister is very fond of Facebook, very fond of Instagram, very fond of social media, and she's always taking pictures of everything. Oh, what are you cooking? Snap, snap. Oh, let me, take a pose, snap, snap. Let me take a picture of your family, snap, snap, etc. Uploaded directly to Facebook, IP address, location, all that sent. It's like I give them a QR code to scan. It doesn't help. What you can give them a QR code all day. What happens when you give somebody the Wi-Fi? Your IP address is now attached to whatever they just did on the internet. You give your neighbor's unsecured network name. That's not a bad idea. Put the network on your, or say to your neighbor, here, can I give you a router and use your Wi-Fi? So the problem with that, guys, is that anytime somebody uses your house Wi-Fi, they are in fact revealing your IP address of whatever they did, and it's being attached to your name. So it's example. Let's say some young teenager comes to your house to stay with you, and they said, let's download a movie. illegally. Then they download a movie using BitTorrent on the internet. That's now attached to your Zucking IP address. Then they go on Facebook. Everything they do is attached to IP address. Then they go to all these porn sites. Then it's attached to your IP address. Sure, Denmark guest is using their LTE. They don't have LTE. They're coming in. When a Denmark guest comes in here, Danish guest comes in here, they have to use Wi-Fi because they don't have any data. So they don't have access to data. So they have to use Wi-Fi. So they're even more obligated to use Wi-Fi. So basically, anything they do becomes your identity. If visited once, just say no way. So as you know, that's a problem. So I made a device to solve that. This is a VPN router. I made a device to solve that. This is a VPN router. So what this is there's the Ethernet cable there. This is a Wi-Fi here. The antenna is inside. You don't see it. But there's the Wi-Fi. There's the Wi-Fi there. You just have to plug in the power. Right? There's a micro USB power connector over there. And then plug in the Wi-Fi over here. Right there. And you boot it. And this shows up as another Wi-Fi. Now, what happens is this Wi-Fi connects to Bytes VPN. You know, my VPN over there. And all of their traffic is now routed to the VPN. You don't have to worry about them because they're not going to reveal your IP address because it's going to go through the router. Also, that's one use. Here's the other use. Do you guys have Nest, Google Nest, Ring, Alexa Echo? Even I tell you about Alexa Echo. Anyone have those devices? Google Nest, Ring, Alexa Echo, security cameras, things like that. Does anybody have devices like that? Come on, type a 1 if you have an Internet of Things device in your house. Type a 1 if you have an Internet Things device in your house, like your refrigerator can, access the internet. Come on, Summer North Bay, you're too good. I can't believe that you guys are listening to me all these years and have no Internet of Things device. I do, but I block it. Security cams, yes, I have a security cam. Yes, I think that's it. I don't have. Trying to think what else I have here. Yeah, I think that's the only one that I can't control. So the only thing that has a Wi-Fi capability is the Rocky. So anyway. Here's the deal. When you have an Internet of Things device like a Roku, a Kodi, one of those, you can't just got back from and finally have time. Thank you, Deanna, for coming in. What outside cam do you recommend? I don't know. I don't know if I can recommend any specific one. I myself, use a specific brand. I'll tell you in private. You have Roku. So if you have any one of those devices, like Kodi and so on, and they use this Wi-Fi, then your traffic is routed to the VPN, and then your IP address doesn't show. See how that could be useful? So it's useful for your IoT, your cameras. So if you have like a security camera and then you route it to the router, some outsider cannot break into your network because they're not going to know your IP address of your router, so they're not going to be able to get in there because they're going to go to the VPN. The VPN will block that. It doesn't go anywhere. So done deal. So that's why I invented this. I said, it's this is pretty useful. How the video play back to that VPN router? Well, it's this is a new model. It has a gigabit Ethernet and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi on this version here, the new one. So it should be fine for video. Everyone keeps telling me to get Kodi. Well, you're going to need one of these if you're going to use Kodi, because Kodi may be illegal. Yeah, this is a new version. This is a Raspberry Pi B+, 3B+. The old router I was selling, the old Tor router, is a Raspberry Pi 3. That has capped about 10 megabits. This goes higher. Yeah, PlayStation can connect to this. Yeah, so Kodi can be illegal. It's Kodi itself is not illegal, but it may be accessing illegal content if you configure it to do illegal things. Reverse VPN tunneling is like going in the rabbit hole. It's like going in the rabbit hole. Reverse VPN tunneling. Why do you call it reverse VPN tunneling? I don't know what's the reverse about it. So I connect your Tor router to my, yes, Heidi. So yes, so right there, this is not a Tor router anymore. This is called Brax Wi-Fi router. Okay, this is not a Tor router in itself. It can act as a Tor router, but it doesn't. It's a VPN router primarily. That's why it has to be faster. Okay, so there's you plug this, that's the Ethernet connector right there. I think you can see that there. There. You plug your Ethernet in there, cable, and you plug the other end to your existing Wi-Fi router, and then put the power supply in. Now, if you want, you can see what's going on with this. There's an HDMI port. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if the lighting there, HDMI. Right under my finger there. That's HDMI. So the HDMI can plug into your TV, so you can see actually what's going on with this. And you don't have to do anything because everything is pre-configured. In fact, I sent it to you already pre-configured. Like one of you already got one of these, and or two of you got one of these already. I mean, I just announced it, and one of you already received it. And it's pretty much plug and play. You just plug it in and it Zucking works. It's now VPN. And you can check easily on Brax to see how the VPN works, or Tor routing, because you can change mode. And you can access it remotely if you know a little bit of it. Kodi is legal. What about it is the Kodi and all of the other variations of Kodi is not in itself illegal. Kodi is open source. There's nothing illegal about Kodi itself. What the problem is that sometimes some of the content you're accessing is illegal based on plugins and things they put in. I don't have Kodi. I don't do that. But some of you do that, and that could target you. Plug and pray without being plug and pray. Okay, so what you stream, okay, so it's what you stream on it. Yeah, so it doesn't matter what you use it for. You can use it for any purpose. And the one I'm selling now is a clear case. So it's not this black one anymore. So the one I'm selling is a clear case. Can't I go to jail for that? That's the whole point. Why would he go to jail for having a VPN? Why would you? Is it illegal to have a VPN, Anthony? I don't think so. There's no law that says you can't have a VPN. So the VPN basically obscures your identity and your activity. Okay, so that's why it's pretty cool. So anyway, a VPN router. So the old one I was selling was a Tor router, but I turned that into software. Yes, it's available on rob.brax.me. Just go to Brax. They would make it illegal to have privacy. Yeah, they're certainly going to try, but we're going to find ways to trick them in the future. There's so many ways around that. That's why they can't even do it. There's so many ways around that. Yes, so this is a fantastical device that I made, and I'm going to make a video of it this tomorrow, so you can see it close up, and show you the interface if you want to look at the interface to this. I'm going to put that on the website on YouTube tomorrow, so follow me on YouTube if you want to see, and then I'll show you this. It's I'm using it myself. I actually have several of these running in the house now. So I have several of these, and then you can actually set them up. Maybe one as a Tor router all the time, and one as a VPN, so you don't have to touch it. And then you just leave it there, and then depending what you want to do, you can connect to whatever on any device, including for your guests. So the way my guests are now going to get this is, I'm going to They actually don't know what my main Wi-Fi is. I'm not going to tell them anymore. I changed the passwords in the main Wi-Fi, and this is the only thing they can access. Definitely going to check out the video once it's on YouTube. We'll be there by tomorrow. Death Has a Beard. We'll be there hopefully before my broadcast tomorrow. I'm going to put it on. Okay? I'm going to put it on there. Hope it'll be a popular video, because it's pretty nifty device. It's very nifty. 49 after buying a Tor router. Ugh. Ugh. All right, so Doug wants it free. Anyway, this whole thing, including the you don't have to do that, Doug. You can buy the whole brand new thing for $149. This device, complete with hardware, software, is $149. Okay, the other thing that I made this goes to Bytes VPN, but to be honest with you, you can set it to go to any VPN company. It's not limited to Bytes VPN. It's pre-configured though to work plug and play with Bytes VPN. So with Bytes VPN, it's automated. You don't have to do anything. There's quite a few steps to do it for some other VPN companies. So I'm not going to tell you that right now. You know how you do that, but meaning you're not tied to me. If you say, I don't want to use Bytes VPN, I want to use PIA, you could use it with this. I just have to write the instruction down, and then it will be automated from then on. You just have to follow a couple of command line arguments. You do need to plug in a keyboard monitor to this to do it, and then download the profile from the VPN, and then you put on here. This is so easy to set up because it has menus. There's no need to know anything about programming a Linux machine. There's nothing. It's basically all menu driven. So you plug it in, you see the menu. Pretty cool. I have another version that I'm making that actually has a LCD display on here, so you actually see what it's doing. So I have a new version that I'm making. So that'll be slightly more expensive, probably $25 more, and it will have a display on it. So if you want to check and see what the status is, you can kind of look at it like that. So kind of like a smartphone size. So I'm testing it. There's some bugs with it, but it's pretty nifty. I'm trying it out right now. And if you're going to use this, obviously you need to subscribe to Bytes VPN. Can you go with SSH? Yes. You can access this with, I access it with SSH shell. All you do, Mad Cow, how do you get your stuff like that manufactured? No, this is a Raspberry Pi. I just buy it from Amazon. I buy it from Amazon. I assemble it. I buy the part from Amazon. I assemble it. If you want to assemble your own, you can do it. You don't have to. You can just buy the software for me. It's the same price. Doesn't matter how you do it. If you want to make your own Raspberry Pi, I don't know why you would want to do that, but since I don't charge you for the labor, so it's easier to set up than ordering a Happy Meal at. Oh, there's nothing to set. That's why it's so fantastic. If you know how to program a router or VPN, even if you don't know how, it's really tedious to do. Very hard to do. Do you actually have a week of time to go figure it out? You go to the internet and say, well, what are all these instructions? And it will take you a week to figure it out. It's like, do you really want to do that? I'm willing to upgrade, but to resubscribe. I'm willing to upgrade, but to resubscribe. You don't have to resubscribe. You mean resubscribe to Bytes VPN? But you're already using PIA. You can use PIA, Doug. If you already have an existing PIA, you can keep using PIA. Nobody's going to stop you from doing it. I just have to write the instructions down. Okay? But for the rest of you, to use it plug and play, you need a Bytes VPN subscription. Yes, the problem is I made a VPN product and put the Tor in it and actually killed my own business by putting Tor in the VPN. So I actually killed my own business by doing that. But this one is doing something that can't do. Thank you, Doug. Dogerto. Thank you, Dogerto. What is the Spanish version of Doug? So I had lots of fun hacking my router. This looks like the same fun without the hassle. I'm going to tell you, it's, you know, it was a struggle to do it. To program this was very tedious. I mean, there are just so many little things you got to worry about. I mean, you know, most of you don't have time to go figure it out. Doofus. The routers evolved like that a lot. Can I tell you what's so fun about this Death as a Beard? You actually go into the menu and say, I want to turn this into a VPN router. Switch on. Done. Instantly. Oh, I wanted to switch it on to be a Tor router. Just go to the menu and change it, and automatically changes immediately. You don't even have to log out. I want to change this to an open VPN. Done. You just do it on the menu, and then it changes. You can access it by SSH, so you don't have to physically access it. Like this is the way I do it. My router is actually very far from me. This router is my own version of the router is very far from me, and I never go there. I just use SSH to reach it, and I run SSH. I get the menu, and I click on the menu on SSH. Done. On SSH, it's all menu driven. You don't have to actually do anything on SSH itself. It's all menu driven. It's very, very simple. I'm going to show you on the video. So this is actually how it works. You plug this in. Let's say you have a monitor. You plug this in. While I log into games, I don't think my VPN can be on, so it seems pretty handy. Yes, it is very handy, Mad Cow. So this is what I do. I plug it in to see the IP address, because once you plug it in, it will give you the IP address. Well, the IP address is only decided on once. So once it picks the IP address in your household, that will be the same IP address it will use forever. So if you want, once you get the IP address, just write it on top. You know, take a sticker, put it on top of this. I'm sure somebody can mine Bitcoin if they wanted it. It'll take forever though. My son had a Raspberry Pi. It's fun. Yeah, this is a 3B Plus though. This is not the 3B. This is the newer one, 3B Plus. It's brand new. So you can put a sticker, write the IP address on this, and that's how you can access. If you're a little bit more sophisticated and you know SSH, you can access this using SSH. So I use Windows. If you're on a Mac, you can just go to the command line on a Mac and type SSH on there. You can access this. So people on a Mac can do it. Now you're saying, well, I only have an iPhone. Well, guess what, folks? There is an SSH app on the Zucking iPhone App Store. You can control this from a Zucking iPhone. You don't need that, Donnie. You just I load the Linux subsystem on Windows. I don't need PuTTY. What's PuTTY for? I have the whole Linux on my Windows. Really nice technology you got there. Yes, thank you, That's a Beard. You know, I'm just trying to, apply my desire for privacy into practical products. And it's very hard to make things because basically most products are suspect. So I can't really sell a lot of products because very few products are safe. So, but this is one that I made. How do I privacy? What's privacy? It's obviously it's just you. So it is private. This is your device. It's not my device. Okay. So, yeah. So Donnie, if you're on Windows, you just install like Ubuntu Linux subsystem on your Windows 10, and you can access it directly from Windows. If you're on, by the way, for some of you are saying, what is he talking about? It's too complicated. No, that's just for advanced users. Most people don't have to do anything. Just plug it in. Like Heidi, don't be afraid. All you do is plug it in. Some of you don't want to install VPNs on your devices because you don't know how. And you think it's so complicated to install a VPN. Some of you are saying that. It's too complicated. Does Braxme use my own domain name if I put a website there? Yeah, you can. You mean like Deanna.com? If you own Deanna.com, you can point it to Braxme using using a CNAME. If you have to make a DNS entry in your with your internet provider, whoever owns you, whoever gave you the domain can often do that, like GoDaddy. Yeah, you can do that. Then you can do a CNAME. So you can redirect to deanna.brax.me, for example. Okay? Yeah, so that's how you do it. So anyway, so this is a pretty cool little invention, and I'm going to make a video. I haven't tried the Linux subsystem yet, but plan on doing it. Yeah, Donnie, you should do it. I mean, having access to Linux and the command line is a good deal. So if you're on an iPhone, you can also control this from the iPhone, again, using something called SSH. So what is SSH? You download the app for SSH, and then you type in the username and password, and the IP address of this, which will tell you what it is. Here's Justin B again. Justin, Linux is not an OS. Linux is a kernel. Oh my gosh. Do I really need to get into this? Well, we need to call it GNU Linux. Again, Justin, I don't think most people care, so they probably won't understand what we're saying anyway. If I said, well, you need to use GNU Linux. What the fuck is GNU? Right, Justin? You're drunk. He's like, what the fuck is GNU? I've never heard of that. I don't even know what that is. And what is this Linux thing? What is this Linux thing? Can we trust SSH with our info once again? No, SSH is something completely different, Maui. SSH is an encrypted communications to Unix servers back in the old day, and now it's being used for Linux servers, and it's an encrypted channel for talking to a server. That's what it means. It has nothing to do with anything you use. Only GNU has not been. It's not Linux, it's Linux-like. This is Matt Cow again. Should I only compute on FGA and not on ASICs? Should I only compute on FD? Are you mining Bitcoin, Justin? Can I trust? How can I trust the hardware? It's a Zucking Raspberry Pi. Build your Zucking own, Justin. It's a Zucking Raspberry Pi. Thank you, Mystic Diana. Justin, this is a Raspberry Pi. I don't make this. Come on, buy it from Amazon yourself. I only make it for you because it's convenient. You know, it's just an average Raspberry Pi. If you don't want to buy it from me already assembled, make your Zucking own. It doesn't matter to me. Buy the software for 99 bucks. Save yourself some time, and then just buy the thing from. You can buy a complete one without the SD card. No. SSH. There's an SSH app in the App Store that allows you to use SSH on an iPhone, Maui. This kind of advanced for you, Maui. This is not important information for. It's someone like Mad Cow and Justin and these guys are Linux experts, so they know, but the average person doesn't need to know that. For average people, plug it in, done. If you want to see how it works, plug in a keyboard and a monitor, done. For the rest of us who are like a little bit more sophisticated, we use things like SSH because we're lazy. I don't want to have to go to this device and plug in a keyboard. What is an SSH and how do I SSH into my kernel? What is SSH and how do I SSH into my kernel? I don't know, Justin. You only want to SSH into the kernel. What if there's no kernel in that version? This is Raspbian. So are you saying Raspbian is not an OS? However, average person wants to use it remotely on iPhone. Yes, Maui, you can do that. You can do that. So the accessing of remote access on this is useful for people like me who are lazy, I don't want to have to walk to this, unplug it, plug in the monitor and keyboard. I'd rather just access it from my bed. Yeah, with SSH, using an SSH app, Maui, that's correct. You download the SSH app, it's in the manual for this. And then you can, Maui, you can upgrade your existing Tor router. It's only $49 to upgrade your existing Tor router. For any of you, you think you like me now? For any of you with a Tor router, many of you have my old Tor router. All you have to do is get an upgrade chip that has a VPN software on it for $49. Then replace the chip, store the original chip in there, put the new one in, and that's it. Now you're the same as this. The new one is faster though. The new one is twice as fast. I tested this. This is twice as fast. So obviously it's newer tech. Okay, that's what I've been waiting for. This is newer tech. So it's yeah, $49, $49.95. It's for $50. $49.95 to upgrade existing Tor router to this software. So for basically most users, it works just like a normal Wi-Fi router. Yes. Yes, Mad Cow. They don't need to know that it's VPN. They have no idea. Exactly, Mad Cow. You plug it in, they see it's, oh, there's your router. It's VPN. It's as fast as any normal VPN. I mean router. They're not going to know what it's doing. No, they're not going to know it's going to Tor chips in salsa. So yes, so they're not going to know where it's going. Now, just don't bombard me with a lot of purchases automatically here. I gotta I gotta build some stock. I only like buy one a day, because I didn't know how many were gonna buy this. So don't just give me some time to ramp up if you're gonna all start buying at once. Okay. So, but this is so much fun. I'm just so excited by this. It's like solve the problem that I'm trying to solve for myself for years. I said, I am sucking, so sick and tired of what my sister does in my house. So sick and tired of that. I want to solve that. Also, if there's people in your house that you can't get the, where's Starlight? There's people in your house that won't use the Zucking VPN. You tell them, use a VPN, and they still don't. Solved. Solved, folks. If they're not following your instructions, say use a VPN when you're on the internet, and they said, I don't care about using a VPN. Well, put them through this and say, I zucked you. I zucked you. I got it done. So basically, yeah. So anyway, this really simplifies life. People who can install a VPN will get faster signals. But for most, this will be, does it come with Pi-hole? Does it come with Pi-hole? Yeah, there's a bunch of holes in there. You can name them what you want. You unzucked them? Yeah, okay, Cow, Mad Cow. Yeah, I guess I unzucked them, yes. What do you have in your 9? This is 149, yes. Complete. Software, hardware, power supply. The only thing you need is the Ethernet cable that plugs into your network. You don't have to set up anything. I'll set it up for you. Well, you do need a Bytes VPN subscription, though. So if you're not on Bytes VPN, you do need that. Okay, so that's $89 a year. That you need. Can't do this without a VPN. The point is to use a VPN. So the cost to hide your underwear purchaser from this. Yes, Kelp, we don't want, actually that doesn't help because that's email. Amazon emails you, so your email's read anyway, so they know what zucking panties and bras you're buying, Kelp. But your pipe packets flush out of main IP sewer. What the fuck? What the zuck? Your ad blocker is Pi-hole. Pi-hole's an ad blocker. Uh, Raspbian is based on Debian. Yeah, yes, but it's called Raspbian. Therefore, Raspbian is an OS. Debian, isn't Debian an OS? It's a distro. So what do you... The distro includes GNU and Linux, right? So isn't Debian an OS? It's like some of you guys are like too... do you care Microsoft has telemetry on Windows 10? I turn all that off. All that telemetry. You know, they do give you the option to turn it off if you know where to look for it. They think you're free balling. So anyway, this is so much fun for me. They are both distros. Yes, Donnie, but is the distro an OS distro or not? Since it includes GNU and Linux, then in theory, it's an OS distro, or is it a Linux distro? I think it's an OS distro. I thought you were talking about mind reading for a minute. Yeah, we're just talking, you know, some of these geeks in here. GNU. What does 49 chip on top of router do without a Bytes VPN subscription? If you don't get a Bytes VPN subscription, you can use it only as a Tor router. But it enables you to use it as a Tor VPN at some point. So for $49.95, this converts into a VPN Tor router capable device. Without the subscription, you can't use the VPN portion. So, yeah, so you do need the VPN, obviously, to do the VPN stuff. You know, unfortunately, there's no, you have to have hardware to do the solution I'm talking about. You know, for those of you who don't understand the difficulty of doing this, let me just explain something to you. They do sell, I'll tell you the name of the company. I'm anti-predictive writing. For some of you who want to look for this, look for flashrouters.com. And what they do, flashrouters.com sell this device in the big version of it, the big routers. They sell VPN routers. No Tor, just VPN only, okay? They sell those VPN routers. No Tor in it. This says Tor. Do you know how much they charge for a VPN router of some old router device? Old device? $250 to $500 for a VPN router, and then plus your subscription. $250 to $500 for a VPN router. Okay? Just so you know. This is $149. So that kind of stuff is, you know, out of reach for some people, and this is not. Okay? So just, you know, in case you think, you know, this is kind of something that that I'm trying to cheat you out of something. It's not. The reason I made this is because I was trying to find out how I can make this inexpensively. Wow, then what you're selling is so cheap. How do I order these devices? Go to my website, rob.brax.me. rob.brax.me. And then it will connect you to me on Brax. Click on my store, and then you're gonna have this. So order from there with a PayPal account, and then yeah. So if you don't believe me, go to flashrouters.com, because you're gonna say, well, he's lying. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm gonna put on a video. I'm gonna put the link on there. I was gonna buy a flashrouter.com until I decided to just make one. It's not WP yet, and they charge $250 to $500. Yeah, in my case, you know, although this is not WPA3, when WPA3 comes out, I just give you a new chip. Okay, it's not a big deal. Just, you know, we'll just exchange chips. I wouldn't charge for that. So if you want WPA3 capable, when that comes out, it may be a year, But when that becomes available, then I just exchange chips with you, and that's not a big deal. I'm more than happy to do that. Okay? I think it's important to try to remember to not log into non-sudo identities if you're using a Tor router. It's very easy to accidentally zuck yourself. Mad Cow, very smart comment. If you have Bytes VPN, then you could use. Would you need any hardware Tor or for? No, Maui. No, you do not. Maui, this is the thing. If you're the only person in the house, then you don't need this. Just install the Bytes VPN directly on individual computers. This is for devices you cannot control that have to go to internet, like Internet of Things devices, guests, people like that. Those are the ones you need to worry about because you can't control them. You, Maui, don't have to worry about those unless you have those kinds of situations. If you're only worried about yourself or your family, then you can just give them all a VPN and then you don't need this. So this is solving a very specific problem. Because the VPN doesn't solve everything if other people come to your house. Okay, so again, imagine, if you're having a problem, imagine my sister. My Zucking sister. Or my brother, by the way. That's the same. He'll just show up. And then he'll, after my brother shows up, I feed him. Then he's nice and full. He goes, lies down on the couch, and then starts on his internet activities using my Zucking VPN. Zuck. But if I'm not doing anything wrong, then I have nothing to hide. Why should I worry? Justin B., that is a pretty zucked up attitude. Watch my nothing to hide video. That is a very, yes, sister on Facebook, yes. Don't let anyone in, including your sister. Yeah. Dustin, please watch my nothing to hide video. There's nobody with nothing to hide. Okay? That is a pretty zucked up attitude when you understand what that actually means. Okay? Nothing to hide. One of these days is going to bite you in the butt. It's going to bite you in the ass. They're going to say, I don't like your political commentary. I don't think I'm going to hire you. I see you've been to these websites. I see you've been to these porn sites. Don't actually think that was just messing with you. I don't actually think that was just messing with you. Yeah, but I'm training you to respond, Justin. When somebody says, "Oh, I got nothing to hide," so what is the response? Justin would say, "I got nothing to hide." Then you say, "Go watch a Zucking video." That's what you say. I made that video for you to share to people who say, "Well, I got nothing to Zucking hide." Well, go watch the video then and come back. And don't say, "Well, I watched a few minutes of it," says Dr. Vic. Well, don't just watch a few minutes of it. Watch the whole thing so you actually understand the arguments. Leave them on mobile or they're connected to, or have them connected to the Raspberry Pi. Justin sounds like a good man, but for the criminals, please surf without a VPN. That's a good advice, Kelp. If you're a terrorist, don't use a Zucking VPN. I've been down the rabbit hole for years now. Coco. So I would connect this to my current router, and I wouldn't have to give my password out anymore. Exactly, Coco. That is correct. The default password to this is on the instructions. So if you want to just plug it in, and it already has a built-in password already, you can use, ready to go. Okay. By default, when you plug this in, the Wi-Fi is called home Wi-Fi. I hope the Constitution can protect the right to privacy. I don't know, Mad Cow. It's starting to be doubtful. Of course, VPNs aren't much of an obstacle. They can, in fact, they can play a flag. Yes, if it's a bad VPN, that's correct. Okay, so yeah, so you don't have to give them anything. Just plug this into your network, and they said, "What is your Zucking Wi-Fi?" And you give them this. It's like, "Oh, go to the one that says home Wi-Fi." "Oh, okay. What's the password?" It's something to do with Zucking. The password is something to do with Zucking. Okay, so can this get rid of the robocalls? Yeah, I wish, Donnie. I wish this would get rid of the robocalls. So anyway, this is available on rob.brax.me. That's the name of my link on Brax. Type rob.brax.me or go to Brax and find me. Either way, you can buy it through Brax. How are new subscriptions going on YouTube today? Not many, Kelp. I'm not getting a lot of subscriptions. So, you know, I basically don't have, I wouldn't say that I have, what do you call this? Organic, you know, too many organic followers on YouTube. So that's what I need is organic followers from YouTube. So at the moment, I don't have that. So I am not satisfied with my growth. Is that going to affect your staying over there? No, I'm going to stay on YouTube. It's very, very important for me to be on YouTube. Very, very important. I released a video in the middle of the week about Tim Cook and Mark Zuckerberg, and some of you are thinking you already know the conclusion, but go watch it. Go watch it because you maybe I should have titled it differently, because you look at the title and say, well, there's no secret here. You know, Tim Cook and Mark Zuckerberg are zucked up, but actually that's not the answer. So you found me on YouTube. Thank you, Justin. So you're rare. So watch that video because the answer is not the obvious answer. Okay, there's a little trick in there. Okay, so anyway, I will make a video of this hopefully by tomorrow. Hopefully by tomorrow. I already did part of the video, and then hopefully I'll finish it. I got to edit it and such. That'll take all day. See, I don't even, my weekends are like taken up. I don't even have a weekend. Do you use I2P? No, I do not use I2P. What? Why would I use I2P? That's like a peer-to-peer kind of talking thing. What actually is I2P? Is it like a peer-to-peer messaging? I have Brax.me. I already have a secure platform. I don't need to make another one. You can do end-to-end encryption on Brax.me if you want. Kind of like to. I kind of like Tor. Yes, I like Tor too. That's why I sell Tor routers. That's why my VPN has Tor. I don't kind of like Tor. I love Tor. What the fuck are you talking about? By the way, talking about going back to just to finish off the topic relating to Article 13 and Article 11. I'm just thinking about this. If a website goes on the dark web, then nobody knows any identity of anyone. So organic followers are expensive at Whole Foods. That's Amazon now. So I said, that's a thought. You could move your app to the dark web and say, if you're from Europe, go access the app from the dark web. Are your videos on library? What is library? I was saying I would love to be a fly on a wall when you search things. It would be help to up the clickbait level on video titles. Easier said than done, though. Maybe it would help to up. Mad Cow, the problem is if you clickbait the app, the title, and the AI, the text you're just clickbaiting, they will actually drop your rank. So it's kind of a a little game you gotta play there. And I need to maybe modify the title to that, but not pure clickbait, like something related but semi-clickbait. The Invisible Internet Project is an anonymous network layer that allows for censorship-resistant peer-to-peer communications. Isn't that what the dark web is for? Donnie, we already have that. It's called the dark web. Or the Tor network. That's what the Tor network is for. Just talk on the Tor network. It's all everyone's on the Tor network. The server is secure and the client is secure. Well, there's ways still to catch you, but if you're a bad guy. But for normal people, it's very, very safe. Okay? Tor is unsafe for criminals. VPNs are unsafe for criminals. But if you're not a criminal, you're very safe. So we're just trying to, you know, stop mass surveillance. Those stop it. Tor and VPN stop mass surveillance and protect us or average people. If you're a criminal, you can still be caught even with VPNs and a Tor router, but they have to use extensive means that are not commonly used unless you're in active surveillance. Okay? Library is a free and open community-run digital marketplace. You own your own data. You control the network. Donnie, that means an open database, not a no. Those are very simplistic words. That means multiple copies of your data everywhere. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Multiple copies of your data everywhere? No, I'd rather have a Brax.me where I control who goes in there and go see stuff. No, Brax.me. I don't know what you're asking, but to read and understand a code, it takes some foundation knowledge and experience. says Justin, the guy that says Linux is a kernel, not a OS. Whew, you guys are like too much. They need to map the entire Tor network and connect entry and exit points. Some rogue elements even packet sniff the outgoing for nodes. Yes, Mad Cow, that doesn't help. That's not the way it works. If you know how I use the Tor network, it basically changes the connection every single minute. Every minute. So how does Octayou map packets that are disappearing and coming and going every minute, and you don't even know where they came from because it's randomized over 6,000 servers? The mathematics of that make it impossible to track content. It's mathematically impossible. Okay, so they don't track, the government doesn't try to track you through Tor. They track you before you get to Tor. If that's how they do it. They say, well, we can't track you to Tor, but we can probably track you before you get to Tor. And Mad Cow actually came up with a, was it Mad Cow or Donnie that said that if you log into Facebook, then they've already found out who you are. They don't need Tor to figure it out because you logged into Facebook. Right? If you log into Facebook, I don't care if you're in Tor router, they just say, okay, who connected to Facebook from this city at this exact time? Oh, then they say, you know, a bunch of computers. Okay, so we narrowed it down to these computers in this place. Okay, now we got that. Now, let's do it again. So after a few rounds of that, they'll say, gotcha. They'll isolate the exact computer. Okay, library is run on block. I know these blockchain things. It's not, you know, multiple copies on peer-to-peer networks. You know, it's I don't know what the point of that is. So just spread your data everywhere when your point is to hide your data. I don't understand that. It's inconsistent with what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do privacy, and you're saying I want copies of my data all over the Zucking internet on peer-to-peer networks. Not clear on why that would be what I would want to do. I can't even imagine what, you know, maybe if you published a book and you don't want it ever to be stolen, you can put it on the blockchain and say, see, I proved that I own that book. Are you sure you're not born yesterday? I think you were, Kelp. Some of your comments suggest you were born yesterday. Anyway, I will end my video now because I need to go back and start making a video for this exciting little project that I did during the week. So yeah, worked very hard on it the last couple of weeks. Been working very, very hard on this, and we'll finish the video on it. I'm logging out of scope until quantum entanglement. There will never be quantum entanglement. There will be quantum entanglement, not untanglement. Okay, Heidi. So Heidi, you're using the same name on YouTube. Okay, I just wanted to know if you're using the same name, and I saw you using the same name on Periscope. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, and thank you for the watch hours on YouTube. And like I said, I'm getting close to reaching 4K. I played piano kelp at the beginning, and then are you going to watch my music where I'm playing kelp? Are you going to watch the music I'm going to post tonight? Are you going to, well, meaning watch it tomorrow? Are you going to watch some? I will post a lot of music. Not on Scope, Heidi? Okay. I will post a lot of music tonight, as well as the video for, we need to talk about quantum entanglement more. Yeah, quantum entanglement is faster than light, the speed of light. Justin, it's faster than the speed of light. Pretty impressive. It's instant. Good to catch you live. Thank you, Mystic Diana. Rob Braxton. Okay, good night, guys. Watch my music videos as well. Coming in. I'm uploading it now. May take till tomorrow to load it. Good night.